Hey guys, David here at the Crystalac Company. It's Friday afternoon. We're looking forward to the weekend here. But I wanted to take the opportunity at this situation has arisen several times over the last 40 years of Crystalac Company being in business. And typically I address it every couple of months when some misinformation may get started about our products, our manufacturing processes, and the information that we're presenting to our customer base. So over the last few months, couple or 3 months, we've heard a lot of talk about Crystalac Company's SDS sheet. And so I want to take the opportunity to maybe talk about what an SDS sheet is and the information contained in. SDS sheets can be compared to, for example, let's say a holy book, a Bible, for instance, or something to that effect. All of you know that certain information can be taken out of any published literature and made to look a different way than its intention. A lot of times that's for bad purposes, and sometimes it's with good intent with just bad information. So I want to talk a little bit about what's contained in the SDS sheet, how to read an SDS sheet, and first and foremost, what's the purpose of an SDS sheet? I see folks say, I did my research and it's toxic. If you did your research, you'll find out that it's not toxic if you did your research. So here's the first thing that you have to ask yourself when you're looking at information given by any manufacturer on coatings, anything like that, when an SDS sheet is provided. Okay. Who regulates, who sets up an SDS sheet, who mandates that one must be done in manufacturing facilities? Who does that? It's not just something that appears out of the ether. The governmental organization that sets the standards and the requirements for an SDS sheet is called OSHA. Now, many of you may not be familiar with OSHA, but if you've ever worked in a manufacturing facility, or for that matter, as a public job, you'll see things, suggestions, training, recommendations, and mandates from this government organization called OSHA. It's a great, great thing that was set up in 1970 by the Congress to ensure safe workplaces. So let's revisit what we've just covered. So OSHA is a government organization that is set up by Congress, that's federally funded, and they set standards for workplace safety. OSHA isn't at Walmart checking the products on the shelf to make sure they're safe. Their job is to ensure that the worker that is manufacturing those products and the first responders that may respond to a critical incident like a fire or a large spill has the information about what could be in there. Okay? So OSHA sets that. I'll just read to you a quick Google here, and I found this. OSHA's purpose. The Occupational Safety and Health, OSH, Act is a federal law that was established in 1970 to ensure that America's workforce has a safe environment in which to work. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, who mandates SDS sheets, sets the requirements and the information that has to be in there. the federal agency that enforces OSH law, was established by the law and was formed in 1971. OSHA is charged. Now, here's what you need to understand when you read an SDS sheet. OSHA is charged with the task of making sure that businesses provide a safe workplace that is free from recognized hazards, promoting health, safety in the workplace, and bringing about a reduction in the occurrence of on-the-job injuries, okay? Illnesses and facilities. OSHA operates a number of programs designed to accomplish these goals. SDS Sheets is one. An SDS sheet was designed so that the employees of the manufacturing company, in our case, are aware of any hazards in the workplace. Now, the workplace is very different to your craft room or your workshop or anything like that, okay? It's very different. In the workplace, we're dealing with raw materials. All of our products are blends of different products put together, then all topped off with water. The majority of the products that we sell to you is water, okay? So legally and by OSHA standards, our finished products, the products that we put in the box and we ship to you, does not even need an OSHA form. It doesn't need an SDS sheet. There's no hazards. So you can go to number 7 here, section 7, handling and storage. If you look at how to read an SDS sheet, I should have it pulled up, but I don't. Section 7 is for employees that may end up having a large spill, first responders that are responding to a fire and need to know what's in that building. So when you look at the Brightone SDS sheet, it is saying, essentially, if there's a large spill, if you're enclosed in an environment and there's a fire, or if anything like that's going on, it's a 10,000 gallon spill, you do need to have forced ventilation in there, because it's a huge, nobody that I'm talking to or is going to be watching this video is going to be around 10,000 gallons of Brightone or any other product as far as that goes. So, but this is set up for handling and storage at the facility where it's made, okay? The important parts for the consumer to look at are the hazardous materials. Section 8, exposure, control, and personal protection. And for example here with Brightone, engineering controls. No specific ventilation required. So I know that's kind of contradictory to number 7, but this is for the workplace, okay? Personal protection, not required but suggested. This is for you guys. Section 8 is for you guys. When you're sanding, you're creating a particulate that can become airborne and breathe into your lungs. And when it gets into your lungs after becoming a particulate, it's hard to get out. So that can be hard on you. If you're using a spray gun and you're not using an approved mask for that size particulate, then we're telling you here, if you're spraying it, put on a respirator, protect yourself. But there is nothing in Brightone that is, there's no, let me think of the right words, there's not enough content of any hazardous materials that we use as raw materials to make it that in the finished product is hazardous to you. That's not flammable, it's not toxic, it's none of those things. Now you can take number 7 and interpret that a different way, but if you go to Google and type in how to read an SDS sheet, and I'll be glad to put a link in after this video, it will show you that number 7 is not how it's being presented out here in social media. It's not saying, and number 7 is not saying that when you're applying a coat of Bright Tone on a tumbler in your basement, or applying Bright Tone to a guitar with a brush, or some manual form of application of the product, you're not spraying it, in other words, that you need forced ventilation, that you need to wear PPE. It's not saying that at all. That has, number 7 has nothing to do with what you're doing with the finished products. I hope that makes sense. So number 8's where you need to look in all the toxicology information. Why stick on number 7? Go down to number 11. Go down to number 11. Routes of entry, talking about toxicological sensitization, I can't say it. None. Medical conditions aggravated by exposure. No known significant effects or critical hazards. What's that got to do with number 7? Nothing. Number 7 is designed for our awesome, amazing Crystalac team. But you can't just take number 7 and decide that the products are toxic or that they're dangerous. That's not it. You got to take the whole form in context as OSHA has designed it. They know what they're doing. They spent years developing this. They know exactly what they're doing, and it's a good cause. There's a good reason behind this. So we're honored, even though we don't have to, and many companies don't, present an SDS sheet for their products. We want you to know it's non-toxic, that it's not a hazardous product, that it's the finished product is not something that you need to be overly concerned with. You don't want to let your kids pour a quart of Bright Tone in their eyes. It's going to get crusty, it's going to get hard, it's going to cause irritation. You don't want to drink it. Common sense will tell you that. It is a coating. It's made to coat and harden up. You don't want that in your intestines. Common sense will tell you that. So what OSHA does is they develop the SDS to present to the employees the information needed so the employees could make sure that they are safe on their own. If you don't believe me, go read how to read an SDS sheet, and it will give you that information. Contact OSHA. Talk to them about what an SDS sheet is and what its general purpose is for. So take the whole form in context, not just number 7. Then go to Google, whoever, and search how to read an SDS sheet. And the folks that are saying you've done your research and you found out that number 7 means you need to wear PPE when using Bright Tone, please do your research. Now, we've been going back and forth with this for a year or so now, and I know the reasons behind it, and I get that. I understand that. But what I'm asking you is, don't think that a small family-owned company that has everything riding on their products, the quality of it, the safety of it, and the information that we give you about that is that we are lying. We've never lied to a customer about any of our products, any of the safety issues, anything to that effect. We've never done it, and we never will. It's just not what we do as a company. So I watch this a whole lot in social media, and folks come in and they type out and they do videos and they point at number 7, and when they have really no good, clear understanding of what this form in its entirety is. So before you make judgment, I watched a post this morning, and several folks were saying, oh, I was considering it, but thanks to your research and all of your knowledge as a paint and coatings expert, that number 7 is telling me that I can't use it, that it is toxic. You need to back up and do this for yourself, okay? We encourage everyone, get in depth on any product, any DIY finish that you're going to have in your home, that you're going to be exposing yourself to, your children, your family, pets. Research it extensively before using it. Every single time. I do. That's the reason we don't have two-part systems here. It would be so easy for us to get an accelerator for Brightone. We're not going to do it until the technology makes that accelerator at Part B safe. Part B, an accelerator, an activator, crosslinker, whatever you want to call it, is not safe. Okay? It's not zero VOC. Part A could be, Part B is not. Under no circumstances. And when you put Part B and Part A, they both become hazardous material at that point. At no time will you use a product by the Crystalac company that is a hazardous material. It don't have to be labeled as such because it's not. So I encourage you, do real research. And before you decide not to try a product based on what some person on social media said, go to the manufacturer of that product, whether it's a Crystalac company product or someone else's product. Go to the manufacturer and ask those tough questions. Ask for evidence of it. Ask for proof of it. Ask to speak with their coatings and creators and formulators. Ask to speak to them about it and what actually goes into the product that could be considered hazardous. And then go to your doctor. Go to an allergist. Go to a paint and coatings chemist. Don't a person that makes crafts for a living and has never manufactured a gallon of paint in their life, don't always take their word for it. Do the research, the real research yourself. And when you find that research, make sure that you have a clear understanding of it. And it's going to make your life a whole lot better, a whole lot easier. Now, whether you use Crystalac company products or not is totally up to you. It's a great, big, huge industry. It's a great, big, huge world. And little old Crystalac company, we're just teeny tiny in this industry. Let me decline that. We're just teeny tiny in this industry. So it is very, 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 very important that the products that we produce and the information that we present about those products are truthful and accurate. If it wasn't, one visit from OSHA, which we welcome anytime, one visit from OSHA, one visit from the EPA, one visit from Paint Care, one visit from any of these can shut us down. So we're not going to lie about it because we actually make the coatings, folks. We're not buying it from Home Depot or Walmart and putting it in a can and printing off a Vistaprint label and sending it out to you. Dorinda herself actually developed and designed every one of the coatings, paints, fillers, everything that we make, 160 plus products right now. She actually designed and developed each and every one of those. So it's not only our credibility and our reputation that's at stake, it's our complete livelihood. So please, before you criticize anybody's product or give half-truths or misinformation about it, please reach out to us. We'll give you direction to go, non-biased parties, whatever it takes to get you the information that you need. But don't sell yourself short reading one chapter out of the Bible or out of the Quran or whatever. Read one chapter out of it and base your whole life around that. And that's what's happening. That's what's going around with the Brightone SDS sheet. They're taking number 7, taking the information out of context and spreading it around that we're not safe. The products are what we say they are. The products are reflected in this, but you can't just take number 7. You've got to take the form in its entirety and understand why the form was developed, what it's here for, and its purposes. Okay? So I know that's long-winded. I've never done anything like this before, We've never, in the company's history, never ran into this until we went up against epoxy in the tumblers. We've never had this kind of misinformation campaign about our products up until then, and that's directly because we are competing with some very popular products out there. They're awesome products. There's nothing wrong with epoxy as long as it's used properly. Forced ventilation, it does need that. The actual manufacturers of those products will tell you full PPE, an OSHA approved mask for that particulate, in a area that's in a non-living space, that's not attached to a living space, with forced ventilation. The actual manufacturers will tell you that. If there is there's only about a dozen manufacturers of epoxy in the whole world, with the majority of them being in China. So they will even tell you as they're making it that you have to use full PPE. You have to use forced ventilation because it is listed as a hazardous, cancer-causing, flammable product. Technology's there. We've got 2 in-house coatings chemists. We talk to coatings chemists every day. We're intimate with them. We know them well. We know all these companies from BASF to DuPont. We know them all. We've worked with them for 40 years. We know what we're talking about. So if you've got a question about it, don't take a crafter's word that really may not have all the information available to them. Find out for yourself. Hate to come across this hard, never done it. I know many will comment that it was unprofessional, but this is definitely something that needed to be addressed. 22-minute long video, it's the longest one I've ever did, but this is something I'm really passionate about, and the whole team's passionate about it. Safety is first. Without safety, if we're making our customers sick, they're not going to buy anymore. And we're not going to make those kind of products. We're just not doing it. So, and if we did, one last thing, if we did make those kind of products, we promise, and you will know it because we will be in your ear every second about it. So I know this is going long. You may have to watch it in segments, but I hope everyone does. I hope you share this video with those naysayers out there that have me blocked on social media where I can't see what they're saying because they know that it's half-truths or no truth whatsoever. So let's work together. If you want to know about coatings, ask the coatings person. If you want to know about beef, ask a butcher. Okay? So I hope this went well. I hope there's not a lot of blowback from it. I hope everybody understands why I've done it, but it's every day and it's becoming a grind, and I want to clear this up. So if you have any questions, please comment below. Feel free to contact us here at the Crystalac Company. Reach out to me on direct message. We're the easiest people in the world to get in contact with. So I hope it helps. Anybody has any questions, let me know. Thanks.